Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Welcome to Philip Raby Specialist Cars here in Chichester. I'm in the showroom. Behind me I've got this lovely Macan, Gen 1. I was actually going to do a video on this today, it's why I'm here. However, the car has just sold like literally an hour or so ago. So going to leave that in the capable hands of the new owner. Congratulations to them on a fantastic car. So look, while we're here, I'm just going to show you quickly kind of what's around the showroom here at Philip Raby, because there's some really, really cool stuff. And then, because I don't want to waste my journey today, Phil and I are going to go for a drive in something that I'm hoping you'll find is pretty cool. But this, you should remember from a video I did last year, 924 Carrera GT. Absolutely love this thing. It was subsequently sold. Owner has chopped it in for something else, I believe. So yeah, Phil and the guys were delighted to take that back. I really enjoyed my drive on that. Definitely go have a look around on the channel for that. The guard's red. It's funny how it changes in colour slightly over the years, isn't it, as Phil pointed out. This car may be for sale. The guys are going to just have a quick look at it before they put their name to it. But off the bat, I think that looks pretty damn cool. That is obviously an early 996 Carrera cable throttle car with the gingicators. It is manual, it is non-sunroof. It's got the lightest possible wheels at the time, the GT3 wheels. It's got sport seats, which have been retrimmed, as you can see, with that red stitching, which is pretty cool. As I said, all important manual. That's a purist spec Porsche 911, rear wheel drive, the lightest water-cooled Porsche 911 ever to be made. That does look good in guards red, but yeah, the guys at Phil Raby will just give that a check over before offering it on sale or return, because the guys here have a 6-month warranty and it's underwritten by themselves, so it's important that they take on the right car. They've got a nice 997 Gen 1 C2S here with like the GT3 front splitter, a front bumper. These look like the turbo twist wheels, but they're sort of polished. Got a really cool profile, particularly at the back, far more concave. They're aftermarket, not too sure what other goodies are lying on this, if I'm honest, but again, it's got the aero kit, so I mean, it looks like a GT3, doesn't it? This Macan, so as I said, recently sold. This is the diesel. I was really looking forward to this because, as we know, Max on the podcast is an absolute evangelist for these. I think, I can't believe these cars are now 10 years old. I cannot believe how much car that is for the money. You know, this was up for just under 20k for a car that I think still looks so fresh, has so much awesome tech involved on it. It's just a really, really good all-rounder for daily Porsche motoring. And you've got a plethora of engines available in these, from like a 240 horsepower diesel engine right the way up to 450 horsepower with the Macan turbo. So we'll do something on one of these another time, I'm sure, but that's a really good car that someone's getting there. We've got a 997 Gen 1 C4S cab, which has just been sold and is getting ready for some summer driving. So congrats to the new custodian of that car. Then behind it, we've got this 996 Gen 1 C4 Tiptronic Ocean metallic blue, which is slightly different to like the midnight blue, which is kind of more commonly seen on 996s. Like these great cars, and for, you know, you'd call it entry-level money in the world of Porsche, wouldn't you? I think this car, reading the spec on the Numbers Marketplace, has recently had like a Miltech Sport exhaust put on, which I had on an old 996 of mine. And I really liked, the build quality of the silencers, but also actually it gave a good flat 6 bark without it being like droney on the motorway and stuff. Nice history to it. I think the guys at Phil Raby said they'll service it before it gets sold as well. Like that's, you know, it's the keys to the iconic 911 for 20 grand. It's ludicrous that we can still get that. But that's very cool. And then next to it, as you can see, we've got Arena Red, which was the launch colour for the 993 Turbo. This is its all-wheel drive brother in the stable, if you like, in the naturally aspirated Carrera 4. I think it looks sensational in Arena Red, I really do. Narrow-bodied, as I said, all-wheel drive. You'd be very hard-pressed to tell from behind the wheel, certainly at road speeds, the difference between a C4 and a rear-wheel drive C2. Really nice all black interior. It is manual, if my camera will pick that up. As a lovely example of the ever reliable 993 generation of 911. So there's some real nice stuff in the showroom at Phil Raby, as there always is, much variety. And on that note, I'd like to introduce you to today's subject matter, which is this. Classic Porsche of a very different flavour. This is the 924 Turbo. Phil really enjoys these cars, so he's very kindly going to take us out for a drive. We'll understand a little bit more about this car and have a chat with Phil. As covered previously on this channel, the 924 replaced the 914 in 1976, and by 1979, the mighty 924 Turbo had arrived. Boasting 170 horsepower with a transaxle layout, that's the engine in the front and the gearbox in the back, these cars were a great entry-level Porsche, and some viewed as a rival to the 911. These days, it's a healthy dollop of classic Porsche for not a lot of cash. I don't know too much else about these cars, so I'm looking forward to finding out more from Phil and having a chat as we take a drive through the Hampshire countryside. Phil, thank you for taking us for a drive today.
Always a pleasure.
So, yeah, what is the car we're in?
Well, this is a 1980 924 Turbo, which is a surprisingly rare Porsche. I think there's less than 100 left in the UK, so you don't often see them.
Yeah.
It's a car that I've always thought has been quite cool. Going back to when I was a teenager, at my first job at a marina on the River Humble, and there was a guy there had one of these. His name was Leo da Costa, and I always remember this because the number plate was Leo 8.
Yeah.
And it was silver, two-tone silver and blue with a black and white passenger interior, just like this car. But this could actually be the same car. Back then I thought that's just kind of the coolest thing ever. And I still think they're pretty cool.
You don't see them like at all.
No, you don't. And I think what's amazing, it's a Porsche with a turbo badge, and it's under 20 grand.
The only 924 I've ever driven was the Porsche that you had for sale last year, the Carrera GT. I didn't realise that the gulf between this and that is so vast.
Well, it isn't. I mean, the Carrera GT is based on a 924 Turbo.
Yeah.
They added an intercooler and a few other tweaks that took the power up to 210 horsepower.
Yeah.
This is 170.
Yeah.
Which is nothing by modern standards, is it? But then it doesn't weigh much.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not the most refined car. It's a 4-cylinder 2-litre engine, and the power is very much on and off. When the turbo kicks in, you know about it. But it's just great fun, and it's a bit different. What's
like your opinion then of like transaxle cars? Because again, you know, this is calling on before your time buying and selling Porsches, you know, when you're in the media, and obviously you'd have had great access to them for test drives over the years. So like, yeah, where have they sat really with enthusiasts?
They've always had the following. There's always been a following for 924s and 944s and 968s, even 928s. But they're very much a niche, which is a shame really, because they are really good cars. But I always say to people, you can buy a normal 924 for 8-10 grand, which is the price of an MGB. And it's a properly engineered car. Yeah. They're well built, they're solid, they're reliable, and they're nippy enough. Certainly more so than an MGB in every way.
It's funny again, like just for me, coming at it from like purely like 911, that's the crux of what I know. Like I can see things that are borrowed, you know, like 3.2 Carrera steering wheel almost.
Yep.
The shifter that was taken
similar,
from to like 964 really, I guess, but obviously on the top with a H pattern, it's slightly different because it's got a dogtooth first gear.
Yeah, which is takes a little bit of getting used to, but it makes a lot of sense. And once you get used to it, it's fine.
You've said to me previously about how much you like 924 turbos. I'm kind of curious as to find out why.
For me, it's partly the that memory of growing up and seeing this silver one, thinking it was rather nice. I love the look of the 924 Turbo. I think it's very pure lines. It's got that cool duct in the bonnet and lovely wheels, and this interior is crazy.
The Pasha design was created by Vlasta Hatter, wife of 993 designer Tony.
Oh yes.
And it was designed with was designed to mimic a checkered flag waving, which I didn't realise until it was pointed out to me, and now that's all I can see is a checkered flag waving. And the other thing is, because Porsche, particularly at the moment, like with its like Heritage Design Edition cars, they like picking on like a pattern or a trim and then running with it for like certain cars. So like they've done like corduroy seat centres on the 992 Heritage Design Edition.
Yep.
They then used or revived houndstooth for like the Sport Classic as an example. Tartan as well on the new Turbo 50 that's come out. Well, all of those patterns, they're all kind of ubiquitous. They're on other cars. They're other patterns that have been around for years prior, whereas Pasha is the only pattern that's unique to Porsche.
That's very true, actually.
Porsche created, and I have to say, it is absolutely awesome seeing it on the seats and on the door trim as well.
I think even more so on the door. It's the way that the different size squares.
Yeah.
I mean, to retrim it must be a nightmare. You'd have to have plenty of material to get everything in the right place.
Yeah, it does look really cool.
If you Google far enough, there is an American forum where somebody actually talks about the mathematical equation between the different sizes of the squares.
Are you being serious? Yeah, wow, okay. I've got a feeling I'll be washing my hair that day. You know
I
what
won't.
People will be well aware of this if you listen to So Much Radio podcast, because we had Phil on the podcast who talked through his career in depth. But in case you didn't know, Phil started Total 911 magazine, ran it for years, wasn't it, in the end? And there was Louise Woodhams then took over from you for 9 issues, and then I inherited the magazine from Louise for I think it was 12 years. So we've basically got 99% of T911 editors sitting in this car, really.
That's a good way of looking at it.
It's quite funny. So I mean, like, do you like miss, or are there any elements of automotive journalism that you miss, or are you quite glad you're out of that madhouse now? Or
no, I've got fond memories of it, actually. I mean, like anything, there's bad bits and good bits to any job. But no, I really enjoyed it, and actually I enjoyed going out on photo shoots, so it's quite nice to do this.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the modern equivalent of a photo shoot, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do remember doing photo shoots, and the photographer would like get me going around the corner time and time again in, I don't know, in a new GT3 or something. I'd be thinking, oh, I'm getting a bit bored of this. But then I have to have a reality check. This is actually really cool.
Automotive journalism is so important, I think. That's why I enjoy doing these videos, because it's a modern interpretation of it. Just because, there's no magazine anymore. I think people still consume media, still want to consume impartial media, just in a different way.
Yeah, I think what you've done, you've reinvented the whole thing with your videos and your podcasts, and they're brilliant, because people sadly don't read magazines as much.
Yeah.
Especially the younger generation.
Yeah.
But they will sit and watch videos.
Yeah.
And podcasts are massive, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. But the question is, Phil, are young people still buying sports cars?
Well, I did see something on Instagram yesterday about the 924, and it's on the 924 Owners Club Instagram account, and there was a young lad who put up a magazine article he'd had about him and his 924. I think he was early 20s, so hopefully, yes.
We need young people to be interested in sports cars, because how I see it through my eyes anyway is we're living in a world that's just becoming ever more automated, not just digitized but just automated, and people are looking at that as kind of opportunity. I'm sort of looking at it as the other way and taking away of that freedom. And I'll never forget, when I passed my driving test, and my dad said to me, your world opens up to you when you've got a set of wheels, and it's what to this day I love about cars, is being able to get in it and go anywhere, and sports cars just heighten that experience, and the purist side of it, and that interaction between man and machine. And like Andreas Preuninger says, a sports car, or a Porsche sports car, is 10,000 parts working harmoniously together as one. And where we're all going with, automation, which is electric cars, self-drive, just all of that is being stripped away. And what I really don't want is future generations missing out on that.
Well, one of our technicians said to me a while ago, he said, I think I'm the last generation of people to drive manual cars. I think he's probably got a point.
Yeah.
But I think hopefully there will be people wanting to get away from all this technology. I mean, we had a customer, he bought a 911 SC quite a few years ago now, and he had a business doing home automation, and he said, I work with technology all week, I want to get away from it at the weekend. He bought this SC, and he's actually gone on to be a really good customer. And we just sold him a 986 Boxster actually, as he wants as a daily.
Yeah.
So I've always remembered that because I thought he's right. Yeah, I love technology, but I also love getting away from it in cars like this.
Yeah, yeah.
It does worry me that people are going to get more use of all these driver aids, and they're not going to, A, they won't be able to drive cars, and B, they won't enjoy it.
Good point that you make. You know, if we go more down the line of technology, well, actually, the idea of driving what is by comparison a back to basic sports car that has more appeal because the contrast is more stark.
Yes.
So that's very cool. Very cool.
Did you want to have a drive?
Yeah, I'd love to have a go, Phil. Yeah, if you don't mind. Amazing. There's some very enthusiastic afternoon tea drinkers there. Glad we didn't mess that up. Oh, hang on. There we go. Well, I've got 2 out of 3 gear changes correct so far, Phil.
Just keep looking at it.
That is pretty cool. So that would be 3rd then. Yeah, very good. So, I mean, yeah, that's the thing with transaxle, isn't it? So front engined, rear wheel drive, the idea being there's like a very near to 50-50 weight distribution, which does mean that, yeah, right out of the box handling is pretty good.
It is. I mean, it's a 1980 car, so it's not up to modern standards in terms of handling, but it is quite predictable.
Yeah, it's funny. Oh, look at that.
Old Triumph Stag.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, it's so like naturally balanced. You don't have to do any of this like weighting up the nose like you do in another Porsche of a similar vintage, if you like.
No, and actually when you think about it, this is the age of the 911 SC.
Yeah.
And in many ways, this is a more modern car.
But it's on little wheels as well, 6 by 15 inch all round. So there's there's plenty of play and movement in there to have a bit of fun.
Yeah, you need to keep the revs up to keep the turbo doing something.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Like beneath 3,000 where I'm at now, there's nothing. But again, that's kind of the cool nuance of driving older turbos. Modern stuff, you just put your foot down and you have a modicum of lag, and then just maximum torque right the way around the tacho. Whereas this is just kind of builds in a much more linear way. I think far more of a fun way personally. Oh yeah, so at 4 it starts to waken up.
Really does, doesn't it?
Yeah, cool. Understeery there. I'm a little bit all at sea, so that is 3rd. It does ride pretty good. I hear what you're saying, that maybe like modern dampers would elevate the experience, but again, I think trying to get everything right, which I haven't done so far, is kind of all part of the charm of this car, really.
Yeah, I think there's a dangerous spoil in it. I think if it was on too firm suspension, you'd ruin the whole feel of the car. It's quite nippy when the turbo cuts in, isn't it?
When the turbo kicks in, it does move, and again, the whole car's kind of moving. It's it's fun. It's engaging. Yeah, and again, as I said to you off camera, it was making a really nice sound as you were shooting past me for those drive-by shots.
Again, totally different to a 911.
Yeah, definitely. The trick is staying within that range of the turbo, definitely. Yeah, it holds the road nicely as well. A very cool experience, Phil. We'll go back to base. Yeah, thanks very much for your time. Thanks for showing us around this. Thanks as well for the catch-ups. Nice to hear how things are going.
It's always good to catch up with you too, well, Lee. Thank
Happy
you.
days, thank you. Well, yeah, obviously you can check out this car and many others on the Nine Whites Marketplace. Something to point out as well that a lot of people kind of forget is, you know, these cars, it's important to buy from the right person, the right people, the right dealers that understand, the right specialists that understand these products, and also who can back up the car with a comprehensive warranty. And what I really like about your business, Phil, is that's a 6 months warranty, underwritten by yourself.
Correct,
So that's
yes.
not third party.
No, we don't buy it in like a lot of car dealers do.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So that really means 6 months of free motoring. So yeah, go and check Phil's stock out on the Nine Whites Marketplace, and we'll look forward to seeing you soon on another episode of Nine Whites TV.